Take a look at some breaking news that's just come in, where Iran says that there's been very limited damage to the Fordo nuclear facility that they have, and also to the Isfahan nuclear sites after the Israeli attack. These attacks took place before Iran's retaliatory strikes. Now, Iran's Atomic Energy Agency has said that there is limited damage to the Fordo nuclear site south of Tehran and another site in the country's center after Israeli attacks. The agency spokesperson Behrouz Kamalvandi has said, and I quote him, "The damage was limited to areas that did not cause any urban damage. In the case of Fordo in Isfahan, there were also attacks on several points which were related to warehouses that caught fire." He added that the damage was not extensive and there is no cause for concern in terms of contamination. Now, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency has said that the Iranian authorities have said that the nuclear sites at Fordo and Isfahan had been struck as part of these Israeli attacks. So this, of course, is the statement by the Israelis that the attacks that took place, that were carried out by the Israelis before the Iranian reprisal, have had very limited damage that was inflicted on the Fordo and the Isfahan nuclear sites. This is what the Iranian officials are claiming. Remember, at this moment, it is not possible to independently verify any of these claims and counterclaims that are being made. But this was an attack that was carried out by the Israelis before the Iranian reprisal happened. And my colleague Susan Tehrani is, of course, joining us live from the United Nations headquarters, where there is at this moment a UNSC meeting that has been convened at the behest of Iran in the aftermath of the Israelis having started their Operation Rising Lion, a term with clear biblical connotations. Susan, we were talking a little bit about, what the American stance is expected to be. But the question, of course, is also this, how far does Netanyahu want to take this war forward? Because the hostilities between Iran and Israel, which had remained simmering, have just completely blown out since Operation Rising Lion that the Israelis started yesterday night. At this moment, diplomatically, what are the Israelis saying as to how they see this war unfold?
Israel has been very clear that it will take as many days and as many weeks as it takes to eliminate or significantly reduce Iran's nuclear capabilities and its ability to reach a nuclear weapon. Now, when it says that, it does indicate, and I know U.S. officials agree with this, that it can't stop now. Because if it stops now, everything that it did until now is just going to be fruitless, basically. So it has to go all the way, and I think Israel has been ready for this. We're hearing from Israeli officials that this was an attack that was planned for years. They have Mossad agents infiltrated inside Iran that have been sort of making these drill sites and working on the infrastructure for these attacks. And also, we're hearing from the United States as well that, ultimately the United States is willing to stand by Israel until Iran doesn't obtain those nuclear weapons. We're open to inspections the way that the IAEA deems justified, or the way that the United States works. What's I think very interesting, and you talk about diplomacy, is it feels that Donald Trump, at least on the surface and on the outside, what he's saying is there is still a chance for some kind of negotiated settlement to this Iran nuclear dispute. Now, it's hard to imagine the Iranians would show up at the negotiating table in Oman. They have said to many media outlets, a number of Western ones as well, that the negotiations are essentially over. They're dead. But nonetheless, it seems even as President Trump is supporting Israel, he's saying that the door is still open to a nuclear negotiation. So, again, I know I say this every time we talk, but we'll wait to see in the coming hours, how things develop. But it's very unlikely that Israel will back down when it's come so far until now. I do want to say that you did mention Natanz and Fordo. The Israelis believe that there has been significant damage made to Natanz. I know the Iranians are saying differently. We'll have to verify that. But they're saying that when the dust settles, if there wasn't enough damage made to Natanz, they're going to go and attack it again. And then when it comes to Fordo, Israel doesn't have that level of bunker busters to be able to penetrate into Fordo. And we do know that the bunker busters that the United States has, which is the only country that they have not been deployed to the Middle East. They are still in the U.S. state here in the United States. So
Right.
I think that'll be very telling to see whether or not these bunker busters are moved to the region or not. But as for now, they are here in the United States. And Fordo can only
Right.
be eliminated with those bunker busters.